3. And we're live! Welcome to week 214 of Startup TNT. My name is Lindsay Vanstone. I'm the Edmonton Summit lead, and
I'm Zach Storms. It is the Summit 7 finale tonight. It is also just a regular Thursday night tradition. We've been getting together to have fun, make friends, and build companies for 214 weeks.
Can you believe it?
And it's our 7th summit, one of the special times where we showcase companies, we all get together, and investors make deals right before our very eyes. Lindsay, do you remember your very first summit?
I do remember my very first summit. That's what got me so psyched about this. Meeting the founders, the company that won the first summit that I was in was True Angle, and actually last night at demo camp, I got to see them pitch their product. It was amazing. It looked very sleek.
And it's great to have demo camp back. In fact, we're going to the same after party that they went to last night. Thanks again to Tiffany for making sure they know that we're going to be here 2 nights in a row. Appreciate that.
That's
okay.
At Red Star.
It's also really great to be here for the first time in Edmonton Unlimited. I've heard this is the first proper pitch event at Edmonton Unlimited. Let's hear it. We're christening this place tonight, entrepreneurs. And here to formally welcome us is none other than Dawn Newton from Edmonton Unlimited.
Awesome, thanks, Zach. Oh, right in the middle, there you go. I'm so happy to be here and to welcome everyone on behalf of Edmonton Unlimited. As Zach said, this is in fact the first pitch event in our new space, so thanks everyone for being here. It's really exciting. We just opened a month ago, so imagine that. We're 1 month in. So I do want to let those of you know that Edmonton Unlimited is an organization that's here to help elevate Edmonton as a global innovation capital. We have free programs for tech entrepreneurs and companies to help them at any stage of growth, so check us out. And I invite you to come back here next Thursday before TNT Happy Hour. We'll be here for the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity North Showcase. Some of those companies here with us tonight that are going to get to pitch next week as well. So with that program brings a lot of community partners together to share their expertise, including Startup TNT. So thank you so much to you and your team for all that you do for the community. And with that, tonight, our summit finale. Let's get to it.
Let's hear it for Edmonton Unlimited. Your team has been phenomenal to work with. It's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this. Let's get going.
Next slide. Okay, so we'd like to start by acknowledging that we are located on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Nehiya, Dene, Anishinaabe, Nakota Iksa, Niitsitape peoples. And we also acknowledge this as the Métis homeland and the homeland of one of the largest Inuit communities south of the 60th parallel. And tonight, we honor their mission to gather the community and share stories, because we share a lot of stories at TNT, and founders will share their stories, and that's what we're all about.
Thank you, Lindsay. And okay, so the other thing we're all about is fun, bringing people together. So the agenda has some times on it, and it has some notices on it, but really it's fun. We're going to listen to some pitches, welcome these pitches. Investors are going to deliberate. We're going to make investments announcements at 8 p.m., and then we're all going to go have some fun at Red Star together. So let's get into it. We've been having fun together for 214 weeks, and we've brought 312 angel investors into our ecosystem. They've invested into 74 companies. We're now across all of the Prairie provinces. There are 4 simultaneous summits happening right now. Remember, we started this in Edmonton, guys. This is kind of our thing. Don't tell anyone that, but we started this here. We showed people how to do this. And let's talk about the impact we've had locally.
Yeah, this is what really drives me. It's amazing. So of all of those big numbers that Zach just mentioned, 3.7 million capital has been raised through Startup TNT for local companies. That's 25 different companies. And that money is coming from 155 different angel investors through TNT, which is incredible.
Let's give a round of applause for that. Yeah. That's an incredible stat. And I gotta say, it means a lot to me. At the early days of Startup TNT, I was like, how do we get more people investing in our local startups? I pitched this idea to co-founder Tim Lin, who I met at one of our happy hours, and said, look, I heard about this idea, let's all put $5,000 in, let's see what we can do. And here we are, $3.7 million later. That's incredible. Yeah, okay, whoa, yeah, whoa. All right, let's talk about partners. It takes a community to do great things, and we've got some great partners with us here at Startup TNT.
Yeah, you'll hear from all of our best friends tonight. They'll be co-hosting, introducing some of the, well, I guess all of the pitches.
All the pitches.
And then we'll have some shout outs for some others. Some of our partners have been with us since the very beginning, and we are so grateful to have that sort of support in the community.
Yeah, they really get integrated with us in the community. Some of these partners were there from the very first summit. I know that Alberta Enterprise actually reached out to us and said, we love what you're doing. Can we support you? Accelerate Fund has been there from the early days. Yasmin just joined us for office hours last week to meet with all of our startups. And some of these core funding partners have also been there from the very early days. So really appreciate it, getting involved, providing some of their expertise to our entrepreneurs.
And you know what, there's the investors too that we need to thank, because without the investors, we would really struggle to do all of the due diligence on our summits. We thank the investors for their time, their energy, and of course, their money going into these companies. So let's do a little round of applause for the investors.
Many of them are here tonight. Let's hear it for the investors. Some of them are former investors now running their own startups that have raised money at Startup TNT. It's a great community. So yeah, why do we invest in startups? It's exhilarating. Short answer, it's exhilarating. I think about it late at night all the time. It's the most exhilarating thing you can do with your time and money. You meet people like this guy Ratmir on the stage there, whose company 40 Hour Discovery is redefining how we do drug discovery. And every time I see him, he gives me this giant bear hug. And it's like that personal connection that I love to see the local technologies and commercializations happening here in Edmonton and making a massive impact on the world.
Yeah, and you know, we have co-founder Zach on stage here, who we hear from a lot, but I also want to bring co-founder Tim Lin up to the stage. Oh, you've got your own mic.
Oh, you have your own microphone.
They gave me one. I don't know how I got one, but I got one.
Because both of them care so much about the investment scene here. And Tim, can you tell us how the investor ecosystem has expanded over these last few years?
So four short years ago, I met a guy named Ardente, and he made a fantastic introduction. I wanted to get better connected into the Edmonton ecosystem, and the ecosystem at the time was Accelerate Fund, which he was managing, and Sprout in terms of professional venture capital that was happening in Edmonton. Arden made an introduction. Where do I go? Where do I go to meet the people in Edmonton? He said, go to Startup TNT. I showed up. It was week 7. The door was locked. The bar was under construction. It was just Zach sitting at the table.
We had a newsletter. We were a legitimate business.
So that was 4 weeks ago, or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was 4 weeks ago.
It happened 4 weeks ago too. 4 years later, we now have 10 VCs that are deploying capital professionally in Edmonton. Actively, full-time people working here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, let's hear it for that. That's incredible.
And these are people, and there's a whole bunch of folks, of course, you know, they're giving, you know, they're doing a full-time job that's given to them by, of course, a whole bunch of people, but also their LPs. And so they're usually the silent people that are sitting behind the scenes, but also a fantastic shout out. We have investors that are angels that are actively deploying capital with us, but they're silent folks that are helping making all these funds happen. So a big shout out to them as well. Speaking of one of those funds, this is one of the folks, one of those 10 that's sitting around the table is us. We have a $5 million fund that we're working on. The $50,000 is going to be going to one of the winners here today in Edmonton. We're going to be deploying $50,000 alongside our angels. The angels are making the decision, and we're investing alongside them. And that's not just in Edmonton. We're going to be deploying 50 into the winner in Calgary and in Saskatchewan and in Manitoba. So that's happening today.
Round of applause. Every 10 to 20 seconds, we need a round of applause.
We need a round of applause all the time. And importantly, this fund is one of the things, in order to be able to build all these VCs, we need people, of course, in order to run those funds. And so what we're doing is we're bringing more folks around the table. We're helping. Each one of those winners is going to have 2 people from the community helping get them through to their Series A. We'll be investing into their Series A as well, but importantly, we're helping build up the community by getting folks to be having a bit of exposure to the venture asset class. And so that's the mission of our fund. So we're really excited to help get that going.
Thanks, Tim. Let's hear it for Tim. Round of applause for Tim, co-founder Startup TNT. Tim, don't leave. Stay on stage. Stay on stage. Okay. I think they told you had to leave, but let's overrule that. All right, we're already at time, so we have to rush through the rest of the slides.
Okay, we'll do this as fast as we can, as fast as we do our summits. So, every investor pre-commits $5,000, and we pool that money together to create the investment that goes into the winning investment, which will be announced tonight in less than 2 hours. And over this 8-week process, the investors work together to collaborate. They learn about the businesses, they meet the founders, and they perform that due diligence. That's so important when you're making these investment deals. So, yeah,
What about side deals?
Oh, side deals, good question. So we will have a winner tonight, but the investors get pretty excited about a lot of companies. And so we are very happy to help syndicate some side deals. So even if you don't win the main amount, you can still win some investment through TNT. And those side deals are not necessarily only Edmonton investors, but they can be investors from that we have in our network in Calgary, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba.
What's happening tonight, Tim? How many tickets have we sold? Do you know?
Oh, over 800 plus?
753 across our 4 events. That's amazing. 200 just for the event tonight. Let's hear it for it. That's amazing. There's 20 pitches, 90 investors. It's going to be a lot of fun. Who's pitching tonight, Lindsay?
Okay, we have 5 amazing companies pitching tonight. We have Lindsay from AIRmarket. We have Casey from Areto Labs. We have Chowdhury from NTWIST. We have Brett from SPI Utilities Solutions. And we have Khalees from UpRow.
Woo! Woo! Let's hear it for them. All right, now agenda number 2, always be pitching. 5 pitches, 4 minutes per pitch, 2 minutes for questions asked by some of our own, very own investors. Be sure to cheer on the presenters. You guys are a great crowd. I could use a little more noise from this area over here, cheering on the AV team. And think about how you can help the companies tonight. Remember, capital is but one thing that these companies need. They need referrals, they need connections, they need support, they need high fives. So, we're almost done. We're almost ready for the pitches. What happens next?
Well, in the meantime, you can donate to our bar tab here. We love donations. You can do that by sending an e-transfer.
Simple e-transfer.
Simple e-transfer to cheers@startuptnt.com. And then after we make the winning announcement tonight, we'll head over to Red Star for an after party.
Tim, which after party are you going to on the screen right now?
I mean, it took me only 3 hours to get to James Joyce, so I might go there. But
That's a good one. James Joyce. Who was at James Joyce 2 weeks ago? Who was at James Joyce 2 weeks ago? Okay, I thought there would be more hands. Okay, that was fun though. All right, we're ready to start.
Let's start the pitches.
We're ready to start. Let's hear it for them.
Woo, woo, thank you.
First. All right, you guys exit stage left. Up first to introduce our very first pitch is none other than Angelo Talamayan from MNP. Let's hear it for Angelo.
Hey everyone. Guess I'm back here again. So my name is Angelo. I lead our technology and innovation team at MNP. So that's a team that helps different companies in the space address different challenges, helping them raise capital perhaps, supporting that, fractional CFO services, shred, tax expansion in the US, all the way to an exit. So for folks that are not familiar with MNP, we are a national firm headquartered here in our province. We are also coast to coast, and we've always been known as a firm for entrepreneurs. And that's why I'm very excited tonight, Zach, because I have the privilege of introducing our first entrepreneur to the stage. So we got Casey from Areto Labs. Areto Labs, they're an Edmonton-based company. They've developed a cool technology that helps organizations safeguard and protects them from different spams, brand damaging content and harassment. So obviously Casey will do a better job explaining her company, but that was my take on it.
That was a good pitch. Let's hear it.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Give it up for Casey from Areto Labs.
Welcome, Casey.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Casey. I'm the founder and COO of Areto Labs. We use machine learning to detect, moderate, and counteract online abuse and harassment on social media. As we know, social media is powerful, but under-moderated feeds cost companies billions each year. And that cost is expensive. These days, it's even harder to moderate our feeds with everything from spam and porn bots to hate and harassment. Online management tools are lacking. We're Areto Labs, so we combine digital automated community management features with innovative counteractive measures to help organizations protect their brand and save time while also growing their digital channels safely across all social media platforms at scale. So Areto categorizes and analyzes content. We then use generative AI to produce content as well as auto-respond. And then we combine mental health check-ins and notifications to proactively manage duty of care. What does this give you? Our client, New Jersey Devils, we recently worked with them to just measure some of our ROI. So as you can see here, cleaner and safer social feeds increase engagement. And our NHL clients typically save around 120 hours a year just by auto-moderating their spam and hate speech alone, while our larger international clients like AC Milan, they save upwards of 220 hours a year just on Instagram. After a ton of market discovery, we've determined that the sports industry is our target market. There's a clear business pain point. They're seeking solutions, and in some cases, in Europe especially, there are new legislations that are coming into effect that are needed to comply with.
Doing great.
Thanks. We've got a handful of direct and indirect competitors, some of whom we've gone head-to-head with already and won. Our customers tell us we're differentiated by our language capabilities, and also, as you can see, our counteractive measures that really do make us stand out. Our business model, we're a B2B SaaS subscription-based company. Average subscription price right now is about $2,000 per month, but that's increasing as we grow market share. And our buyer is typically a communications executive directly responsible for marketing, growing audiences across all of their digital marketing channels. And our user is a social media manager directly responsible for producing content and moderating it. Direct sales through conferences and a couple of referrals, but quickly shifting over to a product-led marketing strategy shortly, including some in-house marketing features. We've got customers, AC Milan, New Jersey Devils, Sport New Zealand, and Australian Football League. We've got a great team of founders with tons of experience, and we're currently raising a $1.5 million pre-seed round on a safe note with a lead investor. And we've got $1 million in the bank and hoping to fill out our round over the next month. I'm Casey, and thanks for having me.
Woo! Strong start, Casey. Listen, here to ask questions is longtime TNT investor Dale Beard. He's been investing with us almost every single summit for the last 2.5 years. Dale, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Great presentation, Casey.
Thank you.
And when we're doing the due diligence, you guys actually closed a good-sized account, AC Milan, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
My first question for you is really the social media platforms. Tell us a little bit about which ones you're on today and maybe the future of the ones you're going to be on later.
Yeah, for sure. We're currently on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and quickly building out to TikTok, hoping to get into e-gaming. We've got a couple of different connections there as well, and then beyond. So Blue Sky, all the latest and greatest will be on very shortly.
Yeah, and I think you guys had mentioned as well, it's easy for you to transition to a new platform as well. Like it took, I think you said maybe 3 weeks to get on YouTube. So that's pretty cool, scalable platform. Yeah, my other question for you, I've got a couple if I have time. Yeah, and my next question is about your team.
Yeah.
So 3 co-founders, and you're actually located in different regions, Edmonton, Montreal, and I think New Zealand. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the story behind that. How did you guys meet?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been working together for a very, very long time. Lana and I founded a nonprofit organization called Parity YEG here in Edmonton. We've sat on numerous boards together, and it was really through that work that Areto Labs came to be. I can't say enough about my founders. Deep deep expertise in business and product development and management. I handle the sales and marketing side, so I think my job's pretty easy, but also just our team. We have an incredible team of really skilled people that really have aligned with our vision, and we've managed to make a pretty great little small and mighty team.
Awesome. One more question. So in terms of the current vertical market, you're going after sports, really awesome market, obviously $1 billion, but what's the plan after sports? Have you guys thought about it? Maybe tell us a little bit about the future.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, obviously, as you mentioned, we're focused on sports, but if you think about social media and who uses that, pretty much everyone here. So we like to say that we focus on sports, media, entertainment, and public affairs. So we do a little bit of work in all of those, and quickly actually growing out, we just had an inbound call for a really popular pop star in Singapore that we're going to be meeting with next week about some protection that she will need online as she's faced with a lot of spam as well.
All right, great, Casey. Give Casey a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Dale. We've gotten an update from our AV team that when you are on stage asking questions or presenting, be in the middle, somewhere between here and here. Thank you for my little dance. Okay, I've got a couple sponsor shout-outs to do before we get to our next pitch. So, Alberta Enterprise Corporation, they were the very first group that reached out to sponsor TNT way back in 2019. AEC is a Crown Corp that invests directly into VC funds that have operations in Alberta, and their most recent investments include Sprout Fund, which is based here in Edmonton, and the 51, which is a women-focused fund based in Calgary. And they seeded the Accelerator Fund, which is another one of our sponsors, and Arden and Yasmin are up there in the audience, and they have also been longtime supporters of Startup TNT and the Edmonton startup community. And recently, Yasmin joined us at our VC office hours that we held, which was very well received by the founders, so thank you. So I will now ask Jean-Luc from BDC to join me on stage to introduce our next presenter. Jean-Luc, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
I'm great. We're up here on stage.
Got a great crowd tonight.
Fantastic crowd. So you're from BDC.
Yes.
What can BDC tech financing team do for Edmonton and Canadian entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we're a relatively new team as well, just especially here in the prairies, kind of mimicking Startup TNT being in Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg. So it's kind of funny how that works out.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, it is, right? A natural fit, because what we're trying to do is to be able to provide non-dilutive debt options for entrepreneurs throughout their whole commercialization life cycle. So whether that's right at the early stages in the first few contracts, to future Series A, B, pre-seed, whatever round it is, what we're trying to do is provide options and value-added advice, because not always can we do it, but we can connect you with the right people.
Okay. So remind me again, when is a really good time for them to connect with you?
Whenever, because I'd love to have that conversation. It's my favorite part of my job. But for it to really make sense for you, and as you're raising that capital, it's when you're in that commercialization stage, when you have the contracts, you have the plan to go forward, but really the thing that's holding back is capital. And that's where we can come in and really start to make a difference.
Okay, thanks so much, Jean-Luc.
Thank you.
I'll leave it to you to introduce our next presenter.
You bet. I'm very excited to introduce Lindsay from AIRmarket. Big round of applause, please.
Test, test. Test, test. Okay. Hello, everybody. The regulatory landscape for drones is going to be changing. Okay. In the next few days, you're going to see an announcement from Transport Canada that's going to give rise to new regulations for enabling beyond visual line of sight operations of drones. AIRmarket and TELUS have been deploying those services for testing and controlling drones over the cellular network. We're absolutely the first to market, and we're establishing ourselves as a utility for accessing the national airspace. I'm Lindsay, the company's AIRmarket, and we're enabling air traffic control for drones. But I want you to start by thinking about a problem. Imagine driving from Edmonton to Fort McMurray with no roads or no rules. Absolute chaos. Now, I want you to scale that up to the national airspace and put yourself in the shoes of just one of these pilots here, trying to traverse the chaos in the national airspace with no regulations, no services, and every one of your flights approved on a case-by-case basis. Well, enter AIRmarket. Together with TELUS, we're deploying the infrastructure, the hardware, the software, to effectively instrument the airspace, providing surveillance services and connectivity services, which empowers the airspace to support beyond line-of-sight applications of drones. This unlocks all commercial activities for drones, from advanced air mobility to simple data collection for asset inspections. And so, how do we make cash out of this? Well, it starts with us flying, collecting data, and being paid per inspection. However, our core service is enabling the airspace. We're paid $3 a minute, every minute a drone is flying, utilizing connectivity, surveillance, and ultimately the approval to access the airspace. Lastly, these drones will be producing a large amount of data, video, imagery, that needs to be translated into business intelligence for the asset inspection use case. And so, how do we go to market? Simple, we just continue what we're doing. We already have the established relationships, the national trials, and what we do is we pour gasoline onto our business. We have $1.7 million of non-dilutive funding that's going to enable us to scale across the province of Alberta. What this provides to us is the rubric, the recipe, to be able to take our services and scale it across Canada. And so, what does the competitive landscape look like? Well, regardless if you're a technology provider or an airspace user, to access the airspace, you're going to ultimately need our services. That positions us as a utility in the national airspace. And so this is the team that I've assembled. This team is facing off with Transport Canada and Nav Canada on a daily, weekly basis, ensuring the regulations are right-sized and our services will meet those rigorous requirements of the future. And so you as investors have to ask the question, why? Well, we are absolutely the first to market. We're helping to define what does RTM service suppliers look like. We have all of the essential partners. We have the exceptional value proposition, which is an end-to-end solution that's cost competitive, provides better data at a minimal carbon footprint. And so what we're doing here is bringing order to the chaos for that pilot. We're asking and seeking investors to join the 994 TELUS employees who have ultimately invested in us already. We're going to take we're raising $2 million to unlock the $1.7 million of funding, and we're going to establish all of our services in advance of the regulations dropping by the end of 2024. I'm Lindsay Moore, CEO and founder of AIRmarket. Woo! And I was a little long.
No, you're good. You're like 15 seconds over. You're all good. So, quick question for you. This sounds like a lot of regulation risk, and you said something really interesting at the very opening of your pitch. You said that the Transport Canada is going to be announcing something in the future. How are you getting in front of this, and how are you influencing the regulations?
Well, we've been on the national working group for RTM services, or air traffic control for drones services, since 2019. We meet with them every Wednesday, and we're hand in glove working with them as part of the national trials right here in Alberta. So we're working with them day in, day out.
And that's a fantastic partnership that you have there. And speaking of partnerships, you know, you're also in front of TELUS and have a fantastic partnership there that I can imagine that a whole bunch of startups in the room would be envious of. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you got in the room there?
I met Ibrahim Gideon, the CTO of TELUS, at Edmonton International Airport. And he had a slideshow up there that showed autonomous vehicles and drones flying across the airspace. And I went and talked to him and said, hey, I'm looking at this space. ultimately, we struck up a relationship, and he's been supporting and nurturing our activities and trying to grow us through the TELUS ecosystem.
That's amazing, and you have 1,000 of them essentially sitting around the table with you, which is fantastic. And last question for you: you're raising $2 million. Where's that going to take you, and sort of what milestones are you planning to hit, and until what time?
So that $2 million gives us, I'll say, a skinny plan. Like, we're going to be able to grow our services out. It's all about getting ready for the regulations that drop by the end of the next year. So we'll be able to continue to grow past that. We have a plan that does that, but we may be looking for a second round to accelerate our growth, all depending on the traction that we receive once the regulations drop.
Awesome work. Fantastic work, Lindsay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone. All right, 2 pitches down, 3 to go. Before we go to the next pitch, I'd like to acknowledge one of our key sponsors, CBRE, our original BFF sponsor. CBRE is a global leader in commercial real estate, services, and investments, with services, insights, and data that span every dimension of the industry. They create solutions for clients of every size, including startups, and in every sector across every geography. So I'd like to give a personal thank you to Jeremy Deeks, Mark Anderson, and Ryan O'Shaughnessy. I actually just saw Jeremy's big face on a massive billboard going down, heading toward Calgary, because these guys are helping people move into spaces all across our city. So thank you to the support from CBRE. And I'd also like to acknowledge 2 VIPs that joined us tonight. Andrew Nackey, unfortunately had to leave early, City Councillor, as well as Karen Tang, City Councillor from Ward Carrillo. She's an extra special VIP in my mind because she's also my wife. All right, let's get to the next pitch. Here to introduce him is longtime friend of TNT, current sponsor, Chase Christensen from RBCX. How you doing, Chase?
Doing fantastic. It's always a great night at pitch night.
I couldn't say it better myself. Tell us a little bit about what's new and great at RBC these days.
We're still a startup within the bank, right? We're 2.5 years old. I mean, that sounds very bank to say we're a startup within the bank, right?
RBC is only 2.5 years old.
Well, hey, our team is.
RBCX is only 2.5 years old.
Multiply that a few times for the bank proper. But our practice, we're really still evolving our practice over the first 2.5 years or 3 years of our existence. So really supporting companies with more than just capital. Capital is still, we're at a capital summit, still an instrumental part of it, but really trying to find ways to add value to client relationships beyond capital.
Well, Chase, can I share a fun fact about you that I just learned recently?
Yes.
Chase's wife is a teacher at my daughter's elementary school. Madame Christensen teaches French. Look at that. It's a small town we live in here in Edmonton. Okay, Chase, who's up next in the pitches?
So it's my pleasure to invite Chowdhury presenting NTWIST.
Let's hear it for Chowdhury. Take it away.
Okay. We uncovered a way to save $1 billion for all the mining companies in the world. And we do that through artificial intelligence. It's not only saving the money, but we are reducing the greenhouse gas emissions that is a byproduct of these mining operations. We implemented this product with various customers and learned that they are saving on an average $2 million per year. And this leads to all we need to do is 500 customers to get to that $1 billion, the goal what we set up to ourselves. What is the problem? Why there is an opportunity, right? This huge demand of mining today causes siloed operations and visibility issues with how the material being tracked. We have a solution for it, and we break the silos and we provide all the necessary information in real time and provide the recommendations where that inefficiencies are in their operations. It's not only that, we also tell them how they can optimize their process and save the energy that is required. So a byproduct of that is reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. A simple example is bringing that various informations together. We were able to showcase $120 per ounce of gold in a mining operations, which led to more than $2 million savings in one of the Brazilian operations. We have a strong customer base, and we implemented this, and our customers are, some of them are repeat customers too, and all the big names such as, I mean, you could see it, are my customers today. Our business model is very simple. We save $2 million and charge them $200,000 per customer. That's the today's model, and there is a future opportunity that we could take advantage of the greenhouse gas emissions, which we are not charging them today through our software. The mining operations alone, there are 5,000 mining operations which are directly fit to our solution, and we wanted to take a 10%, a small portion of it, towards our target, which boils down to 500 customers. And by saving $1 billion, we wanted to extract $100 million from these customers. So our long-term customer value is very high, and in 4 years, you could see the growth, and our product is very sticky. And wherever we go, we stay forever. Again, we are making money. We are making $1 million per year, and our average contract value is $200K. We are raising $500,000, and we wanted to get to $2.6 million by next year. We have a strong competition, and what differentiates us is a low code or a no code and a continuous learning from operations. We have a strong team, 100+ years of experience, and we have a strong roadmap. With that, we should be able to raise one more big funding round next year. I would like to invite you all be part of this revolution of green mining and reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, a better planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Chowdhury. And here to facilitate questions is Kerry Russell. He's been investing with TNT since the very first summit.
Hey, Chowdhury. Great presentation. So when I started looking at your company, I was very impressed. After 2 years, you grew sales to $1 million a year. Now, I know then you've been focusing on building out your platform, and which you've pretty well done now, although you continue working on it. So I want to know about traction in sales, because as a startup, we want you to grow the sales way beyond $1 million. So what do you do?
I thought you were going to ask me a simple question. Well, that's a great question. I mean, right now we have a strong sales funnel, and as we said, we win. There is an opportunity to grow within Canada too, but we pretty much have all the big customers in Canada. We are going after international market right now, and we have a strong sales funnel, 13 people very close to closing, and we have a big contract we are working right now. It's very close to closing that contract. So we built a good sales funnel this year, and we are very confident we can hit our targets.
So I've noticed that your customers are sticky, because most of your new contracts, or a lot of them, are from customers that you're working with right now. Yeah. So it's hard for them to get away from you once you get your grips on them, I understand.
Absolutely. That's what we wanted to be, for sure. And that shows how much value we add to their operations. And yeah, we are very grateful for that.
Okay, so I have one other question. I was looking through your competitors, or I even Googled it to see, and there's a few very impressive large international companies that are looking at taking mines and improving the efficiency of how they operate. So how are you going to compete with those when your customers are looking at the other options?
Again, as I said, right, like some of the competitors you are talking about, C3AI or Emerson or any of these guys, their focus is a platform play, and our focus is mostly specific to mining, and it's a no code or a low code. It's a plug and play. We go in, we install, and it start producing the results rather than wait for months or years to make things happen, right? That is the key differentiator. The second one, I mean, today everybody talks about ChatGPT, and I'm sure everybody has an idea. We built similar functionalities a long time ago in our product called a continuous learning. That's what the key differentiator, what we did, and it continuously learns the operations and provides the recommendations based on the current conditions rather than what is the theoretical maximum output, right? Those are the key differentiators, how we are beating our enhance. But some of the competitors, what you are talking, could be a acquisition target too for us at some point.
Sounds good. And Chloe, you're tough. I just want to have one other comment. We were pretty excited. We talked to one of your customers who told us they invested $200,000 with you and now are saving $200,000 a month in their electrical bills. That's impressive.
Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Chowdhury. Okay, and thank you, Chloe, for keeping us on time. A couple more shout outs. First, to KRP, Knowledge, Relationships, and Possibilities. KRP does more than just accounting. They help their clients understand their data to make informed financial decisions. They also have a building not very far from here. They are down-to-earth, customer-focused, and we know that from experience. Another shout out goes to Alberta Innovates, our province's innovation funding institution and the host of Inventures, which has recently been described as the best startup conference of the year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to miss it, but they're just building the FOMO so that I go next year. And they have been a supporter of Startup TNT since our very early days. And now I would like to bring up Andrew from Prairies Can to introduce our next pitcher. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Andrew, Prairies Can has been a big focus, Alberta has been a big focus for Prairies Can in the last few years. What's been driving that investment, and what are some of the outcomes that you're seeing?
Sure, yeah, thanks. So Prairies Can, or Prairies Economic Development Canada, is a federal government department, and our objective is to diversify and grow the Prairies economy. So we operate in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. It's been a busy few years. We've deployed over $1 billion into communities, community organizations. We fund innovative and tech-based SMEs, and we also fund the non-profit organizations that support those SMEs. So we fund Startup TNT, we fund the Edmonton Unlimiteds of the world, and primarily what we're looking for is job creation, revenue growth, export sales.
Well, we really appreciate having you as one of our sponsors, our core funding partner. And do you have a specific focus in this year for your investment?
Yeah, the next couple of years we're focused on a couple of things. One is growth and transformation. So we're looking at how do we build more value, build new value in the sectors that we normally invest in. So clean technology, digital industries, health and life sciences, advanced manufacturing, and value-added agriculture. That's where we tend to focus. I would say it's fair to say the next couple of years with the current government, clean tech's going to be a huge area for us to focus on, and we're also going to be spending a lot of time looking at value-added agriculture. And the other thing that we really want to focus on is inclusion. So as we're supporting projects that drive our economies forward, help us develop these prosperous economies, how do we make sure that everyone gets to participate in that and to benefit from that?
Amazing. Well, we at Startup TNT have invested into clean tech companies, ag tech companies, so we love having your support. And I will leave it to you to introduce our next pitcher.
Sure, thank you. I have Brett from SPI Utilities Solutions.
have one hand. So. Bam, the power goes out. Didn't go out. What's going on? What, wasn't this your worst nightmare, Elton? Hang on, maybe I can do this here. Can you, everybody hear me like this? Okay. It's harder than you think. I don't know how. Bam, the power goes out. The power producer's worst nightmare. Utilities face multiple penalties for unplanned outages, costing them millions of dollars in regulatory fines for every minute it takes for the power to be restored. And most importantly, it puts at risk the safety of those workers that are working to restore power. Unplanned outages, unplanned outages cost in injuries, and the direct cost of an electrocution injury is about $115,000 to $230,000, with indirect costs as much as $2 million. In addition to the, this is hard. Thank you. In addition to the cost of restoration and such, in 2000 I was electrocuted due to a switching error. And our tool helps us to maintain energized power systems, eliminate switching errors, and it allows us to do the job faster, cleaner, safer, at a lower cost, and all while being environmentally responsible.
I'm going to be your microphone assistant.
Okay, perfect. Also my slide assistant, probably. We'll just keep going ahead here. Sorry about that. My name is Brett Fleming. And we help eliminate unplanned outages for power companies. And we do this by keeping the power on and helping them to eliminate unwanted outages by keeping their equipment in top peak operating performance. Elton Hunter, our corporate CEO, started in the power line industry. He's hydro certified. He started with ATCO Electric a number of years ago. He's hydro certified, he's diesel certified, and he also ran a successful power line business for 15 years in northern BC. In 2006, he took a position at NAIT teaching in the power line electrician program. He spent 15 years passing on his industry knowledge to the next generation. I started my career with TransAlta Utilities, which is now Fortis, and in 2000 I was electrocuted due to a switching error. I was forced to rethink my career choices. I attended the University of Alberta and I took a course took computing science, and eventually I merged the two disciplines, and in 2006 I began teaching at NAIT as well. And this is where I met Elton. Our ask is we're looking for a $500,000 safe note with a $6 million valuation cap. We've successfully generated $500,000 in revenue. We've helped large power industries reduce their maintenance costs as much as 50%. And we're offering a turnkey solution that will change the power industry and the way that they do their maintenance. Companies that we have worked with include NMAX Power Corporation, Suncor Energy, City of Red Deer Light and Power, among other distinguished companies. We are looking for our exit plan is to go for 5 years, build an outstanding company and exit to industry. SPI is going to change the way, and is changing the way that power producers are maintaining power systems, and SPI keeps the power on for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Let's hear it for him. I apologize for our technical difficulties.
Well, yeah. I thought this would be easier, but when everything's all scripted, it's not that easy.
So here to ask questions of Brett is first-time investor Dan Sauter.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. Don't worry, it's the first time. Don't worry, it's all good. I had a few questions. When we had meetings and our Thursday night socials and all the rest of that stuff, we met Brett and Elton. There was a whole bunch of things we talked about. Biggest question I had for you, I know it takes a while to get some of these clients and everything else, but how often do they come back to you for more of your product?
Okay, I'm going to introduce Elton Hunter here. He's our Chief of Operations, and he's going to help me answer some of these questions. But how often? We were motivated by, we took up a job in Red Deer cleaning their electrical installations and doing so while it was hot. And we took a different approach and decided, hey, let's use dry ice to maybe do this, and it's different than what originally happened. So we did a job there. We cleaned 200 switching structures for the city of Red Deer, and immediately upon completion, we got a call from NMAX in Calgary. They originally bought 2 of our tools, and that was a couple of years ago. They've gone through the process. They've geared up, and they bought 2 more tools in the last month here. Suncor Energy has been a tremendous repeat customer for us.
Perfect. And then down, you're trying to scale, get your product up, build up some inventory, and you're wanting to head down to the U.S. When you were hitting the trade shows down in the U.S., how successful were you?
Okay, can I pass this to Elton and he can answer that?
Yeah, thank you. Last year we hit 2 trade shows in New Orleans. There's about 3,500 utilities down there. And then we went over to Dallas, and in the Dallas Trade Fair, we took 7 staff members down, and we had a small booth. It was 10 feet by 10 feet. We were 4 wide and 4 feet for 4 days. We literally didn't have time to go and check it out. So we spoke to probably in excess of 3,000 utilities, and it was just a blur of the utilities wanting what we did. And that's when we decided to run home and get our production up and running and come see you guys to try and take advantage of that huge market down there.
Awesome. No, thank you very much. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Right
Let's
on.
hear it
Thank
for
you.
him one last time. Thanks so much, guys. Okay, we are down to our final pitch. It's almost 7 o'clock. And before we get to the final pitch, I want to give 2 really warm shout outs to a couple of our partners that aren't here with us right now. Applied Pharmaceutical Innovation. They've been a TNT BFF for a few years now. We run our annual Life Sciences Summit with Applied Pharmaceutical Innovation. In fact, they seeded the money and the idea to us live on television, live on YouTube anyways. And we've been doing that for 2 years. Thank you, API. And also, I want to give a shout out to a brand new program they just launched. So if anyone's here, a life sciences innovator or researcher, they now have the Life Sciences Venture Coaching Program. Applications are due June 20th. Go to appliedpharma.ca for more info. And also, I'd like to give a warm shout out to Health Cities, another partner for our Life Sciences Summit. They're based right here in Edmonton, and they engage with clinicians, innovators, philanthropic organizations, industry and academia to address key health challenges. Check out one of their newest initiatives, the Innovative Data Warehouse Project to improve delivery of social services on their website. Now, here to introduce our final entrepreneur of the night is Josh, who invested with us a few years ago as an investor, and now your organization, Tecate, is a sponsor. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me. It's an interesting story how I got involved in Startup TNT. talking with my neighbor, who is a local entrepreneur. I said,
I think we should reveal the name of this entrepreneur, shouldn't we?
Terry from
Yardley.
So,
neighbors with Josh.
He definitely has more accolades than just my neighbor. But our company invests in the local community of startups. And I went to my neighbor and I said, who's the best? And Terry is a very reserved entrepreneur, and he doesn't shout much, and he's very quiet. And he could not say enough things about Zach and Startup TNT. So I said, all right, pulled out my wallet, decided to do a individual investment with Startup TNT. I do due diligence in my day-to-day work, and I must say that the process that Startup TNT is professional, and it's top-notch, and it's great to work with local entrepreneurs as well as the angels, because we all grew and learned while we were investing and quizzing and questioning the founders. So, enough about me. Thank you very much for being here, Zach, and giving me the opportunity. More importantly, please put your hands together for Khalees, who's here to talk to you about UpRow.
Khalees, here to bring us home. Take it away. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Khalees Williams, and this picture was taken 4 years ago when my family and I decided to migrate to Canada. On that very same night, we were homeless. In that moment, I felt afraid, I felt shame, I felt stupid, and this is the motivation behind my tech startup, UpRow. UpRow is a virtual marketplace and social media platform for immigration. Using advanced filtering technology, customers can filter and find their perfect immigration consultant, lawyer, settlement service, language tutor, career coach, school, and community. So after going through my settlement experience, I decided to volunteer. I knew that there must be a better way. And in that volunteering, I was able to survey over 500 immigrants, and the problem was clear. 33% of them had lost money to immigration fraud. 50% of them had anxiety about settlement in Canada. 70% of them hesitated from purchasing services because of the fear of immigration fraud. And 90% of them experienced loneliness during immigration. This is where UpRow comes in, presenting 4 unique solutions. Solution 1 targets immigration fraud by only allowing identity-verified and publicly reviewed professionals on our platform. Solution number 2 targets loneliness. Via the UpRow newsfeed, no immigrants will ever feel lonely again. Solution number 3 uses our advanced filtering technology where customers can filter by rates, review, cost, and language spoken of a professional. And solution number 4 allows for all of these services to be right in the palm of your hand on your mobile device. The best part about this solution is because of the variety of services offered on our platform, UpRow is not only useful for a newcomer in Canada, but for every immigrant for the rest of their life. 1.5 million. This is how many immigrants Canada will welcome over the next 3 years, making Canada the ideal market for this technology. And our target audience would be persons migrating from India, Nigeria, the Philippines, and Ukraine. Our current competitors are social media platforms created by consultants, as well as the college directory. And as you can clearly see, UpRow best meets the need of the modern-day immigrant. This all started with an idea. Let's make immigration less stressful. And through blogging, vlogging, podcasting, and talking to anyone who was willing to listen, I generated over 25,000 social media platforms. I then filtered those users or those followers into my MVP, producing over 3,000 active users and generating over 100,000 in revenue. This was all done with $0 in ad spend and $0 of investment. And now this is where we are. Our mobile app launch. Within these past 4 weeks, we have officially launched. And to use UpRow is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Download the app, filter and find a professional, post on our newsfeed, and get connected. This app produces revenue through commissions, advertising, verification, subscription, and school referral fees. And I'm happy to say that we are on track to meet our 4 million revenue in 2024. We are driven by customer acquisition, meaning that we will take this app from 3,000 users to 30,000 over the next year, and we have the team to do that. Our team, I'm a solo founder, by the way, but our team is made up of many persons who have years and years experience and multiple master's degrees. Apart from being committed, we are also passionate. Today we are asking for $500,000 that we are currently raising, but we have also successfully raised 190 of that already. UpRow will use this money to bring this technology into the hands of many immigrants in Canada and outside who need this technology the most. UpRow, built for immigrants, by immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that timer said your pitch was perfectly on time. Here to facilitate the Q&A is Rob Davey, another longtime investor with us.
Thank you so much. Great job, Khalees.
Thank you.
I've had the pleasure of getting to learn more about Khalees and her business over the last few weeks, and you're absolutely mind-blowing. As an immigrant myself, when I first started talking to you about, talking with you, and you were telling me about some of these settlement services, and the idea that if you're a new immigrant to Canada, that someone can you can pay someone to meet you at the airport, and they will help you figure out where things are, find an apartment, get a cell phone, get all your documents. People pay for those services. And when I moved here, I didn't do that. I remember wandering around a mall trying to find how to buy a cell phone. Yeah, so a platform like yours that connects those people is absolutely amazing. This is a huge market, right? 1.5 million immigrants to Canada, and that's just Canada, right? How big is this opportunity for you financially? How much do you think you could be getting out of that market?
So the market is great, especially if you're looking at persons coming into Canada, approximately 500,000 per year. But let's just look at the persons in Canada. In the next 10 years, 30% of this population would be made up of immigrants. So just looking at that, the possibilities are endless. And I'm really, really, really excited, not just about the financial possibilities, but the possibilities to really change and impact lives. Since I spoke last time, since I pitched, we actually had the opportunity to meet with some of those settlement services, government-funded settlement services, and we also had the opportunity to meet with key stakeholders from the government, IRCC in particular, to really look at how this technology can assist in the settlement of persons within Canada. So yes, we are focusing on persons from outside of Canada with its pre-landing services, but because of the range of services on this platform, it really would be used by you. Absolutely. By someone who has been here 10 years already, and the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. One thing that really impressed me, you have a mobile app now, right? You've got some developers that are working on it. You've invested all the revenue you've had so far back into this, which is a great sign. How did your first app come about?
I built it.
Are you a developer, Khalees?
The University of YouTube. I learned. So I'm self-taught. And I actually developed my MVP myself, which is the web-based app. And that is the app that actually produced over 100,000 in revenue.
No developers, no schooling. What's you have a degree in, you have a master's in?
Environmental science and management.
Environmental sciences, not in computer sciences, right? And you figured it out. And I think that is an amazing sign. And that's the kind of people that we want to be supporting here at TNT. So yeah, I'm really excited, Khalees. Thank you so much for presenting today.
Wow, those pitches were amazing. I'm going to say the
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment at TNT. The investors will now move to the room at the back and have a challenge ahead of themselves to decide who wins the summit.
The investors have some tough decisions to make. So investors, we're gonna have about an hour to deliberate, make our final decisions. The room straight to the back. I think, what's everyone else doing, Lindsay? They're just...
Well, we still have some food. We still have some drinks. Get to know each other, talk to the founders, enjoy the beautiful space that Edmonton Unlimited has created.
Have some fun, make some friends, that's what I say.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be back in an hour.
We'll be back in an hour. I think there's going to be a timer up here. Enjoy. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody. I think we're ready to do this.
Okay. Everyone, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Summit 7. We will very soon be announcing the winner. What I do want to say is, Zach, this was a really tough decision. We had quite the conversation in the investor deliberation room.
It's never an easy decision.
It's never an easy decision. This is what I think made it really tough. We have this amazing opportunity. Can we get some silence in the crowd?
Silence.
Okay, thank you. In Edmonton, we have this amazing opportunity with the ecosystem that we have companies across a broad range of fields. And this makes deciding the winner even harder because we are not comparing apples to apples. We're comparing apples to oranges, to bananas, to everything else. So, tonight we've seen companies that are thinking about the future of how we communicate online. We've seen companies that are thinking about, changing how we clean power equipment. We're looking at companies that are using AI for mining processes and saving money there. We have companies that are using drones and designing that drone traffic management system.
Yeah.
And we have a company that is doing immigration and making sure people can settle successfully once they arrive in Canada. That is a huge range of companies to look at. And a huge range of types of deals that were on the table. So I think this was a really exciting set of companies that we had for this investment summit.
There were multiple champions in the room for different companies. It was a tough conversation.
Yeah, a lot of pros, a lot of discussion. So it was fantastic. So just before we announce the winner, I do want to say a thank you that we haven't said already to our AV team here.
Let's hear for the AV team and the AV team's cheerleading group back here.
And also to our operations team. Jonah has been behind the scenes all night, making sure that we are trying to get us to stick to our time.
Jonah's in the room called Founders Retreat. Anybody wants to retreat over there and hang out? Very calm over there in Command and Control Center.
The Command and Control Center, yes. And then we have several volunteers here tonight, and we just thank you so much for helping us put this on.
And how about Jocelyn, our event planner, who's been with us for many years now. Let's hear it for Jocelyn.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Also trying to keep us to time, which is very difficult, I know. Okay. Well.
Are we ready to do it?
I think we're ready.
Yeah. Let's do it. Who is the winner, Lindsay?
Without further ado, the winner is NTWIST.
NTWIST! Let's hear it for them. Chowdhury,
where are you? Come up on stage.
Come on up here, Chowdhury. Congratulations.
Okay, so we would like to present you with this not huge check in terms of its physical size, but like we do at TNT, it's a small team, it's a small physically sized check, but a big impact. So congratulations.
Would you like to say anything, Chowdhury?
Is it okay if I can skip it?
Oh, you'd like to skip it? Okay.
No, Thank you. This is a journey, I would say. And when we started, we thought like it's a breeze and it's nothing, but it's nothing but a phenomenal experience. I would say anybody, especially if you are an entrepreneur, you should go through this. And we try to raise funds in the past, and I don't think the questions what we received during this process is we never experienced that. And in some cases, that forced us to go back and rethink the way we are doing things today and come back with a response, oh, this is what we are going to do in the future, right? It's a phenomenal, especially I would like to thank our due diligence team, Kerry, Dale, Dan, and they are phenomenal in this process. And we really, it's tough. Believe me, we went through a lot of late evening for a quick response and whatnot to provide this. But I also would like to thank my team. They are very timely, and even if we have to put together the video, it's like, oh, you are mining? We don't understand what it is, right? And when you ask me, it's a great idea, and team try to put together a quick video, and it's unbelievable actually how if we are working for a great cause, how team will come together. And thank you Kevin. You know, you are a pillar to make this happen. And thank you all.
Thank you, Chowdhury.
Congratulations. All right.
So we do have some champagne, but before we get to that, I want to say that our investors were so impressed by these companies that we've got some side deals.
We got side deals.
We have side deals.
We got side deals. We're not stopping at one.
So I would like to welcome up to the stage Brett and Elton from SPI.
SPI, we want to do a deal with you.
Congratulations. And Casey from Areto Labs.
Casey, get up here.
Welcome. Sure.
Yeah, let's all take a photo together.
Yeah, let's take a photo.
Let's take a photo together.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna pop the champagne.
Let's pop the champagne, and that's the end.
Yeah, enjoy the evening.
Yeah.
We're all going to Red Star very soon. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, roll on to Red Star, and we'll see you there. Thanks so much for your attention, for hanging out while we're deliberating. Woo! You've gotten to the real business, haven't you? Okay. Well, the fun is beginning or continuing. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.